Hey, this is Randy at Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to show you the actual pricing for $20,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, or life insurance or funeral funds for a 72-year-old female. Now, the first thing I recommend is go to our website. We've got these free quoters on just about every page. Just select the state that you live in. We're licensed in all 50 states, by the way, and select a coverage amount. And then put your birthday and the rest of the info, click Get Quote Now. It'll take you to a page that's going to show you all the best insurance companies with all the lowest rates. And what that will help you do is be a smart shopper and not fall for all these crazy low rates you see advertised on TV, and then they stick you with 2-year waiting periods, or their insurance costs like 200% more than better companies. So yeah, you'll be a smart consumer just by knowing the pricing out there and comparing. You can also call us at 888-862-9456, talk with one of our agents. And the first thing we really need to dive into, if you're a 72-year-old female looking for $20,000, is that going to be enough for your final expense needs? And typically we would be talking about either a cremation or a burial. So a cremation, the average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's if you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. And if you're going to have some sort of a ceremony and, family, friends, remembrance of life, celebration of life, something like that, that's probably going to be $3,500 to $4,500. So we would typically recommend for the cremation where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn, maybe between $5,000 to $7,000. Now, you notice that's more than the cost of $1,000 to $2,000, right? That it actually costs, but you're 72 years old and we're hoping you make it to 82, maybe 92. And we want to build in some extra money in there to just allow for inflation as things get more expensive over time. And, what's nice about that is something does have sooner. You don't get things paid off as soon as you want, maybe medical bills or something like that. There's a little extra money to kind of help out the family, take care of some of that stuff too. So it works out really terrific that way. So again, yeah, $5,000 to $7,000 for the cremation where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn, probably $7,000 to $10,000 if you're going to have the cremation in some sort of ceremony. Now, we don't recommend people go crazy on this insurance and look at, 25, 35, 40, whatever thousand. A lot of times when people want to do that, it's because they want to leave money behind for the kids. Well, then, most of the people we help are on fixed or limited incomes, and it just can get a little expensive. So we'd rather see you just keep that money in your own pocket and spend that money on your family rather than giving it to an insurance company. So just get what you need. And, if you can't get everything you need right now, get what you can afford, because we can always help you add more coverage later. Now, for the burial, the average cost in the United States is right around $10,000. If you walk into a funeral home with a $10,000 check, in most parts of the country, they're going to get it done. It's hard to believe they wouldn't. It's not going to be anything fancy by any means, but it's hard to imagine they would say no to that and let that check walk out the door to one of their competitors down the street. Just understand, if you're 72, $10,000 will cover things right now, but if you get to 82, 92, then it's not. So we would typically recommend $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000, depending on your financial situation. Remember, if you need to start small, you can do that, add more coverage. But if you've got the financial means, just make sure that inflation isn't an issue going forward. We can help you get the lowest pricing there. Now, one thing we always recommend is getting first aid coverage or benefits. And what that means is, hypothetically, if your policy was approved today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would pay out the $20,000. That's exactly what you want. You do not want a 2-year waiting period plan. We'll talk about that in a moment. But a lot of people would say, well, yeah, you're right, Randy. I do want the first aid coverage, but I've got some health issues going on, and I'm not sure I can qualify. And we would say, well, that's our concern, not your concern, at least when it has to do with this insurance, because we work with enough different insurance companies. They all have different underwriting, and they all have different health questions. And right now we're getting 95% of the people we help first aid coverage. So we're really terrific at what we do. Really, the only reason you wouldn't qualify for first aid coverage is if you had a really significant health issue going on, like a terminal illness, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or in a hospital or in a nursing home, something like that. If that were the case, we'd typically refer you to a different insurance company. The other thing that seems to happen every week is we get somebody that calls up and they say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week and they didn't have insurance and we don't have any money, so we need to get this insurance really quick because the body's down at the funeral home and the funeral director's not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick to get a check in our hand to pay the funeral home director. And we have to let them know there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to approve a policy on a person who's already dead. That's not the way this insurance works. So you've actually got to have this insurance when, you got to get while you're alive. And it's really terrible. This person who passed away didn't care enough about their family to get this taken care of in advance because now obviously it's too late. What typically ends up happening to most families, they don't have the money. They've got to put it on credit cards at 26% interest. And now they're paying off this debt for years and years and years. And what a just perfect way to crush your legacy. You've done everything right your whole life possibly, and then you get to the end and you didn't take care of this one thing. And it's the thing that will probably have the biggest impact on them for the rest of their life. So don't be that person. This insurance is affordable. If you need to start small, you can do that. We can always help you add more coverage later. Now let's talk about these 2-year waiting period plans. So we don't recommend them. Colonial Penn, they're probably one of the better known companies out there. And, I don't know if you know this, but their $9.95 plan has a 2-year waiting period. Yuck. Don't do that. Don't do silly things. So there's other companies out there that offer 2-year waiting periods. Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber, just a bunch of other companies. And some of these companies have done an amazing job of convincing the American public that the only thing you will ever qualify for if you're over age 50 is a 2-year waiting period plan, to which we go, do not fall for such nonsense. It is absolute garbage because we help people with first aid coverage all day long. Now, our 72-year-old female might be thinking she just outsmarted Colonial Penn. She's probably going, yep, I waited until age 72. Now I'm going to get my Colonial Penn $9.95 insurance, and I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, possibly even $50,000 for $9.95. And then she calls and talks with the Colonial agent or goes on their website like we've done for you here. And she sees that one unit of coverage, $9.95, is only going to pay $896 through Colonial Penn. And man, I don't know. That's not even going to pay for a cremation in any place that we know of in the United States. And it doesn't really matter because it's got a 2-year waiting period. So, yeah, we just don't recommend that. And there's a lot of people that would say, that there's companies out there that offer these really low teaser rates. And the only reason they do it is to get you in their system and start calling you. And you want the lowest price, $9.95 or whatever it is. And then they start upselling you because $896 is really not meaningful protection. And we're not saying that's what Colonial Penn is doing here. We would never say that, but some people do. I don't know. Maybe you might want to think about that. But we're looking for $20,000. So let's see if we can get that. The problem is Colonial Penn, they only go up to 15 units. And I know that's not going to be $20,000. Let's just click on it. Yeah, so yeah, $13,440. That's the max you can get. If you wanted $20,000, you couldn't do it. We wouldn't recommend Colonial Penn anyway. But let's see what $20,000 would be with first aid coverage. Here we go. So $20,000, female, age 72. Here we go. Get a quote. We're going to come back here. And again, this is roughly $13,000 for $150. And look at this. So I'm going to go back up here. I want to show you this. $20,000 again. And, right around $113, $114 for $20,000 versus $150 for $13,000. 113 or 14 versus 150. That's roughly $37 more a month that you'd be overpaying Colonial Penn. And, 37 times a month times 12 months is right around $444. So if you had that policy 10 years, our 72-year-old female would overpay $4,440 roughly, and you'd overpay that on a plan with $13,000 coverage versus this would be first day coverage for a full $20,000. Why would you ever go with something that's so much more expensive and it provides so much less coverage just because they advertised on TV? Maybe a $9.95 rate. And yeah, be a smart consumer. We can help you be a smart consumer. This is level coverage. Level coverage, yeah. Now, between these two companies, some companies have stricter underwriting. They don't approve as many people. And in some cases, you're better off getting a company that's, I don't know, maybe 50 cents more a month. It's not that big of a deal. Also, some companies will not give you an approval. They'll make you wait 3, 4, 5 days a week or so. And other companies like this one here will get you approved right over the phone very first day, so you don't have to worry about this anymore. So there's a lot to consider. We can certainly help you be a smart shopper. Let's look at some other stuff here, though. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, 113. So yeah, so this is 135. Say it's right around $20 more a month. That's $240 a year. That'd be an extra $2,400 after 10 years. Level coverage, but why would you overpay roughly $2,500 roughly? Why would you overpay that? And the savings on these policies are at the front. So you got to get the good rate, and then it saves you every month going forward. Let's look at some of those insurance companies. You'll be able to see all these different ones here. Well, here's one, Lincoln Heritage. So they're a fine company, I guess, but look at that pricing. Yikeroos. And level first day coverage. But it's $171. So Lincoln Heritage has a plan where when you pass away, they will call 2 or 3 funeral homes, maybe do a couple other things. But, supposedly get the best pricing or something like that. But they charge an awful lot for that. That's $171 versus $114. So that's around $57 a month, roughly, something like that. So times 12, that'd be $684 a year more. If our 72-year-old female lived to 82, you will have overpaid right around $6,840 roughly. And a lot of people would say that's pretty expensive, for a company to make 2 or 3 phone calls and do a couple of other things that may only take an hour or so to do. And we would tend to agree. We don't recommend it. So what we've done at Funeral Funds of America is we've created a funeral and estate planning guide, and we provide that free to anybody. You can download it off our website, print it out, and then fill it out, and then keep it with your insurance policy. And that way, when you do pass away, your family or loved ones will be both protected financially with the insurance policy, but also emotionally, because you will have filled out the funeral and estate planning guide. They will know everything that needs to be done exactly per your wishes, what goes what, who goes, what goes where, and then exactly what you want done. And they will know that you are not only always protecting them in life, but you also protected them in death when you wouldn't be here. And you did that well in advance. And oh my gosh, what a wonderful gift of love to leave behind for your family members and loved ones. What a legacy to leave behind. So go to our website, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. That's a special quarter that we've got just for YouTube viewers to get the best discounts and lowest rates. You can also call us at 888-862-9456. And if you have an existing policy and you want to price shop it to see if we can save you some money, we can do that. If you want to add coverage to your current policy, we can do that. And if you need brand new coverage or just want information or just to see what's available out there or any help whatsoever, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to getting you the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. We look forward to the day when we can actually help you do that. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.